Good Friday morning and welcome to Korea Today, brought to you live from Seoul.
Seoul's defense ministry says that Pyongyang fired what appears to be 4 short-range ballistic missiles off its southeast coast early evening yesterday. Is this provocation a reaction to the ongoing joint military exercises?
The government has rolled up its sleeves to tackle the country's mounting household debt. Details coming up in the headlines.
And spending on private education takes a turn up. We'll have that story coming up on Imprint.
Comics with a message. Stay tuned for a closer look at an exhibition that's been to France and is now in Korea.
They are known for their provocative zipper dance, but there's so much more behind the charms of AOA, the 8-piece girl group. Denny Hong sits down with the ladies so in demand. For your burning appetite, we show you some dishes cooked to perfection by taming the flames. From briquettes to iron plates, we bring you a feast on fire on this Friday, February 28th, 2014.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And good morning. You're joining us on Friday's edition of Korea Today.
Good morning, everyone. Definitely heightened tensions here on the Korean Peninsula with the latest provocation by North Korea, but nevertheless, spring is here, and the Korea Meteorological Administration yesterday forecast that flowers will start blossoming in a couple of weeks, starting with forsythias.
Now, the forsythias will be blossoming first in the southern island of Jeju, first in Seogwipo, and it'll make its way up north, reaching the capital by the 25th. So March 14th is where you'll be able to see these forsythias in Seogwipo. The azalea blossoms will come a few days later. Now, I'm looking forward to the weather as well. Just in time for the weekend, the fine dust advisories across the nation has been lifted, and temperatures...
Finally.
Exactly,
About
right?
time, right?
Just in time for the weekend, and temperatures are to be very fair. All right, we'll find out more about that later on Korea Today.
But first, we'll go to Nahyang for a check of the day's headlines.
South Korea's defense ministry has confirmed North Korea fired off 4 projectiles into its eastern waters at around 5:30 Thursday afternoon. That was shortly after Seoul announced its intentions to propose holding a working-level Red Cross meeting with Pyongyang. The projectiles are believed to be short-range Scud ballistic missiles. Experts say this is North Korea's apparent effort to protest the ongoing joint military drills between Seoul and Washington. Meanwhile, a separate issue regarding North Korea prompted Seoul to address Pyongyang through its Ministry of Unification.
We strongly urge North Korea to release our South Korean citizen and have him repatriated.
Now, the spokesman is referring to a South Korean missionary who was found to have been detained since October last year in North Korea, accused of plotting to overthrow the regime. The South Korean government is urging Pyongyang to repatriate the detainee Kim Jong-wook, saying his activities were solely religious in nature. North Korea watchers expect Kim to be released sooner than later, as Pyongyang has past records of showcasing its South Korean detainees before sending them back home. And in the meantime, North Korea and Japan have reportedly agreed to hold working-level Red Cross talks in China from next Monday. The announcement was made by Japan's Foreign Ministry on Thursday. Over the scheduled 7 days of talks, the Japanese Red Cross and its North Korean counterpart are expected to discuss returning the remains of Japanese who died in the North at the end of World War II. Various Japanese media outlets say the talks will also center around retrieving the remains of Japanese nationals who were allegedly abducted by North Korea in the 1970s and 80s. This will mark the first time in around 18 months that Red Cross officials from the 2 countries will hold such a meeting. The nation's Supreme Court has upheld a 4-year prison term for Choi Tae-won, the head of SK Group, for embezzling company funds. Choi was convicted of embezzling some $43 million from 2 SK Group subsidiaries to make personal investments in stock futures and options in 2008. His younger brother, Choi Jae-won, was also sentenced to 3 years and 6 months behind bars for collusion. SK is the country's third largest conglomerate and has more than 80 affiliates. The government has rolled out a set of measures to tackle the country's household debt, which recently surpassed the monumental 1 quadrillion won mark, or roughly more than 930 billion US dollars. Finance Minister Hyun Oh-seok says the government plans to lower the debt-to-income ratio by 5 percentage points by the end of 2017. Korea's financial regulator urged local banks to raise the portion of fixed-rate home loans in order for households to be less influenced by interest rate fluctuations.
The Financial Services Commission plans to push local banks to increase the portion of loans with fixed interest rates and encourage households to repay the principal and interest together.
So the government plans to expand fixed-rate home loans and loans allowing principal and interest to be paid at the same time to 40% respectively by the end of 2017. Skeptics, however, say the measures will have limited effects as most of them are an extension of existing policies or are merely simple revisions to existing practices.
Happy Friday, everyone, and what a Friday it is. Let's go ahead and kick off today's imprint with a look at the front page image over on 동아일보. You'll remember this image from Tuesday, a shot of China's forbidden city blanketed by toxic smog, but Thursday, a different picture. The title explains smog lifted in Beijing, China. Korea also recovered to normal level of fine dust. Good news for us as we head into the weekend, of course. And our Idami will have more on the forecast later, so do stay tuned for that. Taking a look at another front page image, this time on Gyeongyang Shinmun. It looks like a scene out of a sci-fi movie. The title explains it's a solar flare captured, an explosion of sorts around the sun's sunspots. Now, NASA released these images on Wednesday local time, the colors reflecting the range of heat exerted. It's the strongest such solar flare recorded this year, rated at the most intense at X class. And while it didn't directly affect planet Earth, it was powerful enough to produce a short radio blackout that affected aircraft navigation here in Korea. And taking a look at the headline right underneath, it reads, spending on private education jumps in Park administration's first year after falling for 4 years. The Education Ministry released statistics from a national survey conducted together with Statistics Korea. It found that the average monthly private education expense per student rose by 1.3% from the year before, coming in at 239,000 won, or roughly $223 US. And while the average monthly cost around age categories were similar in the $200 range, this is interesting. While spending on high school students fell by 0.4%, spending on elementary students recorded the biggest rise at 5.9%.
What's alarming seems to be that private education starts so early these days for elementary students. It's not when they're supposed to be outdoors playing, when they're in their elementary years.
Absolutely. It brings new meaning to jumpstart education, doesn't it? In fact, the article reports that the highest participation in private education was found in second graders at 86%. This, of course, as the Park administration efforts to curb overly zealous competition by reining in the study-ahead culture prevalent here in Korean society at large. All right, a few more front page images. 조선일보 treats as its top news of North Korea's firing of 4 missiles into the East Sea reportedly at around 5:45 yesterday afternoon. You already heard about that on our headlines. And the front page image shows Ukrainians moving on tanks at Independence Square as tensions are rising between the country's interim government and neighboring Russia. Over on 중앙일보, it has an image taking us to Damascus, Syria. Syria, where hordes of refugees are lined up for food supplies. The United Nations group calling on the Syrian regime to allow them to come in with relief aid. Meanwhile, domestically, this headline reflects pretty big news. It reads, Samsung Electronics to extend retirement age to 60 starting this year. This is part of the conglomerate's so-called peak wage system and is expected to affect other company policies as well to follow suit, according to the sub-headlines. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at that story over on our Business Daily for today. Korea Economic Daily's headline reads, Samsung to implement retirement at 60 and peak wage system this year. Samsung's current retirement age sits at 55, and the government is set to revise that to 60 in the year 2016. But ahead of that, the conglomerate announced it would adopt a peak wage system that would allow its workers to work until the age of 60 in exchange for a gradual reduction in pay from the age of 56. Samsung is not the first to extend such a plan, however, as the inserted graph shows that as of 2012, some 16% of companies with 100 employees or more, that is, had already introduced such a measure. And with that, we'll wrap your look at what's in print on this Friday. Next up are your closing numbers from Thursday's market action.
All week long, we've had spring-like conditions, but it seems Gotsamchuwi might be at the end of the weekend.
Don't say that.
But fine, particular matter, no more, right?
Yep,
That's good news.
It's been lifted. We can breathe.
That's right. We can breathe, and Idami can breathe as well. She's standing by outdoors with a check of the latest weather forecast. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, for sure. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm reporting live from Gangbuk-gu, Seoul. And finally, the 4-day-long ultra-fine dust watch has been lifted yesterday. Right now here in Seoul, the concentration level of fine dust is at normal. So yes, we can breathe. As of now, the temperature right now this morning is at 1.6 degrees Celsius. It is slightly chilly, but later in the day, our highs will rise to 12 degrees, giving us mild conditions. Now, as of now, there are signs of either snow or rain over in Gangwon-do and Gyeongsang-pukto province. Later tonight, there will be rain expected down south in Jeju and some parts of Gyeongsang-namdo province as well. Now, here in Seoul, we will have clear conditions today and over the weekend. So finally, with the toxic dust out of the way and the warm spring-like weather ahead of us, making outdoor plans for the weekend sounds like a great idea. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the chart and check the temperatures for today around the nation. Seoul's highs are at 12, Daejeon at 13, Daegu at 11, Gangneung the coolest at 7, Busan at 12, Gwangju at 14, and Jeju at 11 degrees. That's all I have for the weather forecast. I'll be back in the latter half.
One of the largest comic festivals in the world caused quite a stir last month with one of its most popular exhibitions, and that very exhibition has made its way over here to Korea. Yim Yun-hee has more on this. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, this exhibition is called The Flower That Doesn't Wilt and was originally shown at the Angouleme International Comics Festival that's held in France. But it was very popular there and has been brought to Korea. But, you know, when it was first opened, it was a little bit controversial because it does address the issue of sex slavery of Korean women by Imperial Japan. And so these comics are not your everyday comics. They're a little bit different, but they do show that comics can be used for more than just entertainment. And so with that said, let's take a look in this next report.
Whoever said that cartoons were only for children? They can be used to connect with individuals across generation gaps, which is what these artists recently accomplished.
Now, last month, the 41st annual Angouleme International Comics Festival took place in France. Over 20,000 people attended the event and saw the works there, and these works were in popular demand.
So as an encore performance, they've been brought to Korea.
The Angouleme International Comics Festival was created to celebrate comics from around the world. This year's festival was the perfect place for these Korean-made works to debut.
When people saw my work, I heard them say they had no idea about the issue and that they felt bad for these victims who had to endure so much. That's what I wanted to show with my work. I want people to notice these grandmas and their struggles.
Here, the artist depicts a young girl, suppressed underneath a symbol of Imperial Japan, while her freedom flutters away. Another work shows the struggles of the victims and their twisted fate tied to the Japanese soldiers, in this piece called Twisted Knot. Here is a story of a young girl based on her true testimonial about her tumultuous journey as she is ripped from her home. The isolation of the victim can be seen in this painting as the young girl stands by herself by what seems to be an endless dark shroud. It is through these works that the artist can communicate with the audience. These 20 pieces that are part of this exhibition are a chance for people to learn about these grandmas.
Cartoons are fun for all ages and genders. It's easy to connect with and learn about history, so I am grateful for this opportunity.
Many of the victims were lured away from their homes with the promise of a job and a brighter future, seen in this comic. The dark shading of these sketches echo the haunting secret the victims must keep as they bear the burden of their tragedy.
In my comic, The Secret, the character is based on the grandma Young-soo. Before I began working on it, the grandmas gathered for a big event where I heard their stories. In this comic, the Japanese soldiers have a secret, but there's also another secret, which is the entire experience that the victims, now grandmas, kept to themselves.
But not all works show the trauma of the victims. Here is a young girl, seen on top of a Japanese figure, striking him to the ground in defeat. The look of defiance on her face sends a message of hope, of overcoming the past.
The Angouleme Festival is a very big gathering of accomplished artists from around the world, and I think the exhibition made many of the artists curious about the issue of sex slavery. The next thing to do is get an apology for the grandmas before they pass away.
The messages here are both for the public, many who are unaware of the situation, but there are also messages here meant for the victims themselves.
Now, at the exhibition in France, a wall was created for visitors to leave notes of encouragement for the victims. Now, this wall has been brought to Korea and has been added to, creating a bouquet of notes of hope, perseverance, and love for those grandmas.
Now, some of the images look very interesting exhibition, but some of the images look very graphic. And this exhibition is being held at the Korea Manhwa Museum, which is a popular place for children now. So I'm thinking, did the artists expect an older audience, maybe?
You know, when I was there, the majority of people I saw at the exhibition were parents with children, and I had originally thought the content is a little bit heavy, maybe burdensome to teach your children. I mean, can you guys imagine? You guys have children, teaching that to them. But the parents...
it's very difficult. I would say that this is for the mature audience.
Yes, well, that's what I had originally thought, but the parents seem very willing to sit there and help their children understand this through the use of these comics, which is exactly what the artists wanted. One of the artists I'd interviewed mentioned that he wanted to connect with the children and teach them something that happened to their grandmas.
And the exhibition that you went to, you said was in the Gyeonggi province. Does it have a plan to come to Seoul, maybe?
You know, yes, it does have a plan to come to Seoul. Currently it is at Gyeonggi, but in France it did very well. It was actually held open longer than they had originally intended. And so they want to continue spreading this awareness, which is why they brought it to Korea. And after Seoul, it is going to go around the rest of Korea. And they do have plans to take it to other comic exhibitions and festivals, particularly in Beijing and in Algeria. And so you're going to want to catch this exhibition before it leaves the country.
All right, well, thank you very much for this report on this unique exhibition.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Yun-hee.
And still ahead on Korea today, one of the sexiest girl groups in Korea is taking the world by storm with their sexy dance moves and their mini skirts and a song titled Mini Skirt. Denny Hong catches up with the rising stars and gets a look at what makes this group so fresh, charming, and just irresistible. So women are making fashion statements with the onset of spring, but men are also trying to keep up with the trend as well.
I'm not sure if the screen is really reflecting this enough, but I guess I would have had to put this bow tie on, right? Now, the colors blue and burgundy in suits, in men's suits, have been coming around. It's becoming very popular. Flamboyant colors, floral patterns have become popular as well, and it's the trend for 2014. So if you want to look trendy like me, or like I'm attempting to, then I guess you could just check out this report.
The perfect makeover guide for men. What kind of styles lead the trend for men's fashion this year for the warm and lively season of spring? We check out the latest looks for men that will melt some hearts this season. The key color in men's fashion for spring and summer this year is blue. From sky blue to true blue, the different shades will dominate menswear.
People used to seek out darker blue tones, but these days, as we see a greater variety of blue tones come out, it's becoming a more popular option for consumers.
Blue brings out a gentle but sophisticated look for men. Depending on the type of attire, you can go from dandy chic to rough and tough. Blue has great versatility and offers a broad option in styling.
Since more people are going after business casual, I'd like to recommend a dandy style by pairing up a double-breasted plaid jacket with blue tone pants. This season, window pane check patterns are in demand, and although this is a very classic look, I'm recommending a blue tone style for people who are looking for something with more flair.
You can also offer the same fabrics, matching denim on denim for a more rugged look. It gives it a vintage styling clothing with an air of added freedom, but a pair-up of light-toned denim can look unsophisticated, so a mix-up with the darker tones is crucial in delivering the look that you need.
Blue may be the color in style, but you shouldn't go with blue for everything. It's a very flashy color, so wear it with solid achromatic colors and use blue as a color to accentuate certain elements.
Another trend in men's fashion this season is going with bold and flamboyant looks, with floral patterns added to menswear.
In the past, floral prints were almost exclusively for women's clothing, but recently the boundaries have been coming down, so you're seeing this trend in menswear as well, and it's becoming more popular.
One of the men known to best pull off the blooming floral trend is actor Yoo-in. Be it dramas or commercials, he has shown off a flamboyant but bright and lively image with this eye-catching style. For those who want to try out this fancy and flashy look, we visited a shop to check out some trends.
This season, rather than large floral prints, the small patterns that give off more of a vintage feel are more in style.
For a look with a lot of flair and character, go with bold geometric patterns. For a lighter, livelier look, choose simple patterns with bright colors. Floral pants are also a popular option, and a good way to balance your look is by matching it up with a solid collar shirt to tone down the flashy nature of the pants to create a more refined look. Floral pants may not be the easiest to wear, so what other ways can you incorporate this look into your style?
The way to wear floral patterns so it's not over the top is to match the overall tone between the floral patterned items and other parts of your outfit. For example, you can wear a toned-down blue necktie and cardigan and bring out the best in the floral patterns to make your look more approachable.
Another trend that will lead this season is the color burgundy, which has dominated the fashion scene in menswear since fall and winter of last year. If last fall and winter was all about bringing out the dignified gentleman style, this season it comes with an added air of flashiness, using bright wine color tones of burgundy to lighten things up.
Burgundy that goes well with a suit is an extremely attractive look, especially if it's added to accessories like handkerchief, bow ties, and neckties. You can complete a more sophisticated look. Also, bringing out the charm in the burgundy color by wearing burgundy pants is another good styling tip.
You know, burgundy and blue, I get them, but I don't know if non-models would be able to pull off the floral pants.
Floral pants.
Yeah, floral pattern.
I wouldn't even try it. That's just no.
I mean, you look nice and definitely, but it's not for everyone, I have to say.
I look like a marshal in a golf match, you know.
And maybe
just
this will do it justice. Maybe if you had a bow tie to go with.
I think this is
you
rather.
hold it up to see.
I mean, I see where it. Maybe for a small party or something, or maybe Halloween, I could try it on.
Very springy.
Well, all right, these are the trends, though. Hyung-kyung mentioned that models are able to pull it off. So if you think you can pull it off, then give it a shot.
Go ahead, right?
Go ahead.
All right, that was your style report.
All right, K Entertainment coming right up. Plan to wear that jacket throughout the show?
I think I'm going to keep it on, just try to work it as much as I can for the day, right? In January and February, a lot of girl groups have made their comebacks as well as new debuts, and this is good news for Denny Hong because he gets to go out and interview them.
That's right.
Denny, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to meet these celebrities. So I did get to interview AOA a couple of weeks ago, and this is actually interesting because they had just finished reaching the #1 spot on a K-pop music show, and so they're celebrating that event. And so we have a really fun interview to share with you guys today. Let's take a look.
This is Myeongdong in Seoul, a central shopping district always bustling with people.
I'm so nervous, I don't know what to say.
But the unusual crowds today are here to take part in a free hug event with girl group AOA, popular these days with their song Miniskirt. AOA has been getting ahead of the pack in the first 2 months of the year among competition with other girl groups. And they say the track Miniskirt highlights the best of the sexy charm that they have to offer.
Can you tell us about your most recent track, Miniskirt? It's doing very well right now, so can you tell us the concept of the song?
짧은 치마는요, 이전 앨범인 흔들려보다 조금 더 성숙한 섹시미를 보여드릴 수 있는 곡인데요. 엄청 매력적인, 누구나 보면 반할 만한 여자가 한 남자의 마음을 얻지 못해서 그 남자에게 어필하는 그런 곡입니다.
만약에 이번 짧은 치마가 1등을 해요. 그러면은 공약 같은 거 한번 걸어봐봐요. 뭐 하실 거예요, 1등 하면?
프리허그!
프리허그?
네.
진짜로 사람 많은 곳에 가서?
네. 명동 프리허그.
And within a year and a half since they debuted, the group grabbed #1 on a K-pop show and set out to live up to the promise that if they got to #1, they would have a free hug event.
축하드립니다. 소감 말씀해주세요.
저희가 가는 곳마다 축하한다는 말을 굉장히 많이 들어서 굉장히 기쁘게 감사한 마음을 가지고 더 열심히 활동을 하고 있습니다. 감사합니다. 그리고 무엇보다 달라진 건 상을 주시고 나니까 더 열심히 해야겠다는 생각이 많이 들어서 요새는 정말 1위 가수다운 그런 멋진 가수 될 수 있도록 열심히 하고 있습니다.
AOA runs on the novel idea of having 2 groups within one, the black team for band music and the white for dance music. The group usually works as one, but occasionally they go their own ways as subunits. Especially member Yu Young, who plays the drums, only takes part in the acoustic band songs. This is how AOA has set itself apart from other idol groups, by taking on songs that have a striking balance between two different styles and fusing it into one. Can you tell us about that concept, please?
6명이서 활동을 할 때는 AOA 완전체고요. AOA 화이트는 아직 앨범을 내지 않았는데 조금 더 쉬운 노래, 쉬운 그런 곡으로 댄스 그룹으로 설현, 혜정, 찬미가 그룹 1입니다. 잘 부탁드립니다.
AOA's attraction lies not only in their provocative, sexy performance, but also in their cute and down-to-earth nature. Recently, parody pictures that the group released of the animation feature film Frozen has drawn a lot of attention. The girl group continues to share different sides of themselves with their fans, and the acoustic lyrical version of Miniskirt also highlights another style of music that they have. The group also held their first solo concert, offering a glimpse of the multiple talents that they have. Once considered a hidden gem on the K-pop scene, AOA has made a leap forward and will receive a lot of attention as they make their next move. Can you tell us about your plans for the future for both Korea and overseas?
해외 팬 여러분들도 아직 찾아뵙지 못했는데 많은 사랑을 주셔서 너무너무 감사드리고요. 꼭 찾아뵐 수 있도록 더 열심히 하는 AOA 되겠습니다. 감사합니다.
And last but not least, if you have any last words to say to our Korea Today viewers.
코리아 투데이 시청자 여러분, 네, 저희 AOA 짧은 치마 많이 사랑해주셔서 너무너무 감사드리고요. 감기 조심하셨으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 지금까지 AOA였습니다. 감사합니다.
Talented young ladies they are, and they made their debut in 2012, I believe, but their popularity really began to take off just recently in January. But I know there are an 8-member group, but I only saw 6 of them during the interview. What happened to the rest 2?
Basically, the 6 that were there, there's 2 members. Yu Young is the drummer, so she is only a part, because the band is split into 2 parts. There's a band portion, so AOA Black, and then there's AOA White, right? So the performance that we just saw was actually more on the dance portion side. And one of the members, Hyeon, she was injured, so she wasn't actually there during the interview portion. So there's 7 members in the dance group, and there's 5 members in the band portion.
I don't think I've seen another band like this where they actually do band music, like they're actually deserving of the word band, right? They play instruments, and also they do dance music at the same time. They're rather skilled as well.
I would say it's a very unique concept to have the same groups and split off into different subunits this way, and so I thought it was very interesting. Also, their backstory when they originally came out, the idea was that they were angels, you know, that really came down to earth to share music with it. So that,
their name stands for Ace of Angels.
Yeah, but it's a great concept because it has this entire mythology, this backstory behind it, so people can latch onto it. It's kind of like an entire movie of its own.
And they do look like angels.
Yeah, they're very pretty,
They
right?
can sing for sure. I was really impressed. But I mean, so they are the it girl group, would you say, nowadays, yeah?
Well, a lot of stuff is going on with them in their career right now. When it comes to their success on the charts, especially with Miniskirts, they nabbed the 2nd place spot in Japan's HMV charts, and also in China, they had the #1 spot. In Korea, they also had #1 spot too. So they've been doing very well. They're kind of breaking off and doing more solo stuff right now. A couple of them are doing dramas. One already came out last week. One's coming out at the end of March. And so they're doing more individual activities and coming back later with a more unique song, I would say. So there's a lot to look forward to.
All right, Denny, thank you very much. It must be really difficult to stand out with all these idols in the field, right? Thank you, Denny.
No problem.
All right, now we'll get a look at the top 5 songs on the Korean pop music charts.
All right, let's check back in with our Lee, who joins us from a special location where ahead of the March 1st Independence Movement Day.
All right, we'll go to Tommy and check what this location has. Tommy, over to you.
I'm back reporting live from Pohangak as tomorrow marks the 95th anniversary of the Independence Movement Day, or March 1st movement known as 3.1절 here in Korea. Now, Pohangak is the place where the movement actually was planned back in 1919. 3.1절 is one of the earliest and largest public display of Korean resistance against Japanese colonial rule at the time. Now, in order to let more people know about the history of Pohangak and to commemorate the spirit of the independence activists, the Gangboku office holds an event every year on March 1st. Now, this event, which was started to pay tribute to the spirit of those who took part in the movement, is called the Pohangak Independence Movement Reenactment Event. Now, this reenactment event is expecting about 2,000 students and residents to take part. The event will start out by the striking of a bell to commemorate the 33 representative leaders, and then a 4-kilometer street parade with the Korean flag will take place. Now, during the march, there will be 1,000 students wearing similar attire of that back in 1919 and shouting 대한 독립 만세, basically a cheer shouting for Korea's independence. There will also be exhibitions and experience programs such as a photo exhibition and making of rice balls. There's also a trip down memory lane where you can taste the snacks such as cotton candy and 붕어빵, which has sweet rice beans filled inside of it. Now, the reenactment event will be taking place tomorrow, and it started back in the year 2004 with about 2,000 participants every year. So there will be people of all walks of life here for the Pohangak reenactment. So why not come by, take part in this memorable moment with many others? This is your look at Pohangak, located in Gangbuk-gu, Seoul.
Thank you, Dami. Now, with the beginning of March next week, we will be beginning a new season of Korea Today, but we won't be going to different locations with our Lee.
That's right, just under 500 live location, on-location reports from Lee, and we won't be with her. She won't be with us for that season, which is rather sad, but we'd like to thank you for that, Tommy. Thank you very much for all your reports.
Over to you, Dami, for the last time.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you so much. And it was an honor to, be here for the past 2 years, just letting everyone know, or our viewers know, more about Korea's culture. And it was just a lot of fun. Hopefully, all of our viewers, learn something live from Korea. I definitely have learned a lot and enjoyed this journey on Korea Today. But it's not just a goodbye, just a slight farewell. I just want to say thank you for the love and support that I have been receiving from live from Korea. And of course, keep continuing to tune in on Korea Today. So not a goodbye, but a farewell. I'm Lee, Korea Today. Oh, and also this morning, I wasn't able to say or give a high five to Young before the show. So here's my air five back to you, Young and Minjung in the studio.
Well, it's never goodbye, but see you later, right? Well, TGI Friday, everyone, as we kick things off with the LPGA, where world number 1 Park In-bi went into the first round of the HSBC Women's Championship, hoping to win her first title this season. And after the first round, well, not a bad start. Park In-bi off to a great start to start off the event, but shot an even par in the front 9 before 3 birdies in the 10th, 13th, and the 14th hole. On the 17th hole, she would bogey, leaving her at 2 under 70 after the first round. Good for 7th overall, just trailing Kerry Webb by 4 strokes, who shot a 6 under on the day. And moving over to football, where fans have been waiting 4 years to find out how the Taeguk Warriors will look on the pitch in Brazil, as the Korea Football Association revealed their uniforms for Brazil. But it wasn't the uniforms that caught everyone's attention.
It was what manager Hong Myung-bo said in the press conference. Now, speaking at Gwanghwamun on Thursday, manager Hong Myung-bo stated that the silver medal finish by the South Korean men's speed skating team pursuit team inspired him and Korean sports generally, stating that despite lacking the experience and technique compared to the other nations, they were still able to claim the silver medal. Manager Hong stated that the current World Cup squad is very similar to the speed skating team and hopes to do the same in Brazil. And moving on, it seems like yesterday when the 2013 Boston Marathon was marred by a terrorist attack when 3 spectators were killed, including 264 others injured. And the officials are making sure that this doesn't happen again this year. Now, the Boston Athletic Association, which organizes the 26-mile race, stated that all backpacks and handbags will be banned at the event. And for athletes planning to bring a change of clothes, they will be provided with a clear plastic bag to hold their items at gear check areas. Now, this year's event is set to take place on April 21st on Patriots Day. And now finishing things off with some Thursday night's KBL action where the Ulsan Mobis Phoebus continue their dominance as they cruise past the Goyang Orions 79-54. Meanwhile, with the Incheon Itilan Elephants taking on the Busan KT Sonic Boom, let's take a look at the highlights. Now, going into the game here, first quarter, both sides shooting well from the field as KT takes a 24-16 lead before going into halftime with a 34-29 lead. But the second half of the game, Incheon rallies back, outscoring KT 22-16 in the third before running away with it in the fourth quarter of the game as they rally back to take this game 70-63. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great weekend, everyone, and see you guys again for your sports needs.
We are now in the final leg of this cold winter, and before we let spring take the helm in full swing, we wanted to sit down with a hot bowl of hot food, literally hot, as in temperature hot. And Matthew Chung joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Matthew. Good morning. And you're right, the cold is just starting to break, but spring is coming, summer's on the horizon, so there's no bad time for hot food. And when I mean hot, I don't mean spicy, I mean cooked over an open flame. There's really no better way to have food, so why don't we take a look at some of the best foods that you can cook out on an open fire. Right behind me, we have Jeonju Sikdang, and what they do is that they grill all their fish right outside over an open flame, and you can smell it from a mile away. It's one of the most delicious smells in the world, and that's what today's show is about, to fire and cooking over an open one specifically. And let's see how many everyday foods we can transform into something special with the use of an open flame. So we're here at Songju Goul, and they're famous for their 떡갈비. And 떡 is the pounded rice cake, and 갈비 means rib meat, in this case beef rib meat. And it's not rice cake, but rather it's meat that's been treated similarly. It's been chopped up fine, similar to how you pound 떡. So that's where the name comes from. Here they use the real thing, and it's all chopped by hand, and that gives a far superior texture than being ground by machine or by a grinder. And this way, everything's kept separate, and it just kind of falls apart beautifully in your mouth when you eat it. This is really good. The beauty of cooking over charcoal, you have a couple of distinct advantages. One, charcoal burns extremely hot. It's hot and it's a clean flame. But more than that, it's also got its own particular scent, fragrance. It's got a perfume to it, really is what it is. It's a low and slow cooking process, just to cook it evenly all the way through, and then high heat to give it a beautiful sear. So we've just seen how charcoal is a fantastic way to cook meats. And here we have something a little bit different, and that's hardwood, in this case specifically oak. So let's see how much flavor that this hardwood can impart onto our food. And hurry, it's cold. This is a chicken, and it smells incredible. And you can see, it's just gorgeous. First of all, first thing you smell is that it kind of smells like samgyetang. And it's because a lot of the same aromatics are found in here. You have insan, you have ketchup, a lot of those classic samgyetang flavors. But there's something else, and that is that beautiful roasted scent. I have no patience, and I am a child. So it's grilled over changnamu, which is oak wood, and it gives it a very distinct smoky flavor. It's not as overly assertive at all. It doesn't actually almost taste like your classic, barbecue smoke, but rather it has a fresh woodiness to it. But it's not just this. Apparently, there's a little surprise waiting when it gets to the bottom. Ooh, that is a nice surprise. I'm very pleased with this. Look at that beautiful scorched rice. I've never heard of anyone else doing this before. When they stuff the chicken full of rice, it's actually uncooked raw rice. And the benefits of that, it soaks up all those beautiful chicken juices, and you taste it, and that flavor has just gone through and through. So we're here at Hanki, here in the Hannam-dong Itaewon area, and they specialize in 철판구이, which is cooking over a cast iron pan, or in this case, flat top. And I can get down with anyone who's a practitioner of this bachelor arts. It's a spicy pork belly, samgyeopsal 구이. So it's been cooked on the flat top. A lot of times you'll find samgyeopsal, you'll find pork belly here, and it doesn't come with a sauce like this, but when it does, it usually comes with a prune sauce, which is insanely spicy. So let's see if I start crying on air. Oh, there it is. It's starting to get spicy now. That just became a completely new dish. The addition of the kim, the laver, it brings this awesome brininess to it. You'll also notice there's a food bar. So you can saddle up right up to the flat top and watch your food being cooked, just like so. Because this episode's all on fire, you might have been wondering where the fire is. That's where the fire's at. My face still feels hot. Like, I can feel the heat in my face. That broccoli smells incredible. It's got great fragrance, and you see, they got, good aggressive coloring on there. Cooked perfectly. It's got a great little crunch to it. The mayonnaise, provides a nice rich foil against it. It's piping hot, because it just came directly from the flat top, right to the plate, got served to me. And, despite it being engulfed in an enormous fireball, not overcooked, not undercooked, right on point.
So you get to see the fireball, fire trick every day, any day of the week?
Once it's made for that dish. So that's how they cook it. And I think my eyebrows have just started to grow back. But it's a real experience. I've told people about it, and it's a great place, just to go for something different, a spectacle, and for tasty food as well. That fire really brings out a lot of flavor.
Tteokgalbi, I've seen it cooked on pans, but never over a briquette coal fire.
Is it different?
It's absolutely different. Those briquettes, I don't know if you got a close look at them. You see those little holes, right? Those holes turn that briquette into essentially a jet engine. Yeah, that flame is extremely hot. So that's not really something you can achieve in a pan, because the pan will start to scorch and burn. But over that briquette, man, it just really develops a lot of flavor over that heat.
Makes it richer, huh, that tteokgalbi.
Richer, more complex, and it really feels like meat.
All right, well, if you can't stand the heat, then stay out of the kitchen, but your kitchen looks like somewhere that we want to go to, the ones that you introduced to us today. I think
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, by harnessing that flame, really develop a lot of good flavor, and it really does open up an entire world of culinary opportunities.
All right, Matthew. We'll be checking those places out. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Matthew.
Always a pleasure.
But if you just stick around for a little bit. All right. Now, we'd like to pay tribute to someone who's been a part of our team for
Well, before we do that,
inception.
we should mention that with the beginning of March, Korea Today, we will be beginning a new season with lots of new faces and new segments. It's an exciting time for us, but also a very sad time for us as well because I can't do this.
That's right. So we'll take a look at this clip and pay tribute to a very special someone who's been contributing so much to Korea Today. Take a look.
Korea Today.
I'm Na Hyun-kyung. We'll be bringing you all there is to know about Korea from walkout starting in about... Wait, my parents.
The FTA negotiation with South
In
Korea.
Hongdae because Hongdae of is show President Park Geun-hye. Wow, this is a truly emotional day for me. But yeah, this morning was my last morning as a regular co-host of this incredible show called Korea Today. And I really wanted to thank our viewers, you know, each and every one of you, or the reason why I was able to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, every morning without hesitation and come into the office, you know, write the news and deliver the news. And you were the most significant part of my life for the past 2 years, and I'm truly thankful to have been, you know, allowed, given the opportunity to be a part of yours as well. And I also wanted to thank all of our staff, this incredible staff, really, our producers, our writers, our audio engineers, technicians, our camera crew. Thank you so much. And our assistant directors and floor directors, and our computer graphic team, and you know, last but not least, my incredibly loving and understanding and, you know, giving co-hosts, really. Thank you for being a friend and family. You know, we can understand each other without really saying anything. And I am truly, truly honored to have been a part of Korea Today. Really.
Many people love to think that we have like a love-hate relationship and that there's some sort of rivalry between the two of us. But you're like a little sister, a big sister sometimes. I never had, and I really thank you.
Are we allowed to cry this much?
Yes. I think this was one of the hardest shows to ever do. But we prepared this for you. Thank you so much for contributing so much. You made the show better. You made us better as well.
Thank you so much.
So much, really. You know, I will be given a new title and a new role in the news team, but hopefully this will not be the end. Of course, it's not goodbye. My stories will be presented at Korea Today.
We'll be bugging you from this point onwards, like every day. Don't worry about this.
I'll still be, of course, a part of the Korea Today family if you will allow me to be.
Oh, come on. Any time of the day. Thank you so much, Hyun-kyung, for everything that you've taught me, as well as everyone else on the team. Dedication, working hard, and just putting the best you can. Your credibility, everything was a huge part of this team. Thank you very much.
Eunice and SJ, let's all. You guys have things to say, I'm sure, too.
You know, such a well-rounded broadcaster, right? Not just on air, but did you guys know she's actually very talented in baseball as well? You know, we had a chance to play catch once. And I thought maybe you were going to become a baseball player after this, but...
She's got an arm.
Yeah, she has a career change on the horizon.
Perhaps. And contrary to her on-air persona, she can be very silly as well. So,
yes, I do that sometimes.
We will continue our friendship, of course, behind the scenes, but we wish you all the best. And this is not goodbye, I hope. This is see you later on air.
I hope so, too, right?
And as a tribute, please close the show for us this morning.
That's right. That camera right there, camera one. Yes, it's all yours.
It's been an incredible past 2 years. Really, I just cannot emphasize how much I loved hosting the show. And I am honored to be able to close the show today. That's all I have and all we have prepared for you on this Friday. And I will not see you on Monday, but this incredible team will see you again next Monday at 7 a.m. Korea time. Thank you very much.
But they'll be able to see you on the news team, so.
Yes, I love you.